Hi, welcome to this lesson. So let's continue on with arrays in this lesson. So let's look at creating arrays as objects. And so on and so forth in this particular lesson. Okay, so we already looked at how to create arrays as objects, and we just looked at how to declare. For example, I can just say something like, let me create a variable array1, and it can just say something like new space array, and this would now be an object. If I do a console.log of array1 now, so this is what I'm getting. Okay, so it shows an array, right? Okay, just array1 if I say it shows me an empty array. If I do a type of array1 like that, I'll get an object because arrays are objects. So that's how it works. So, but instead of just declaring and after that assigning with your square brackets like this, you can also directly give your values inside of this parenthesis as well. For example, I can create the same array as the last lesson like this, okay, within the parenthesis. That's possible as well. So that's completely up to you. How you do it is completely up to you. Okay. But frankly speaking, I'd rather do it this way, this way with my elements mentioned here. I'd rather do it this way. Definitely, I'd rather do it this way because it's easier to create it that way, for one. And also, there are certain problems that come with this new array method. I'll tell you about them in just a minute. Okay, and as you know, you can access the value of the array. Okay, you can access them and you can put them in your console, or you can put them in your alert, or you can use them separately. I can say array 1 of 2 to access the 0, 1 to the second 0, 1 to the third element like this, and I can also reassign the value to some other variable like this. I can do that as well. So similarly, you can change the values of the array as well. We already saw that. But did you know that you can assign different types? Okay, so for example, array of 2 is 0, 1, 2. This one, it's a number, right? But you can actually assign another variable to this. For example, you can give something like this. Okay, so this is a number, but you can assign a string to it if that's what you want. If I log this to the console, if I log the entire array to the console, okay, sorry about that, array1. Okay, so always reference it properly. Array1, that's the name of the array. Okay, see, instead of 3, I'm getting appeared here. So you can give different values like that if that's what you want. So you can also print out the entire array like I just did. Okay, you just have to give the name of the array without any brackets, square brackets, or anything like that. Just give the name of the array in your console or in your alert, and the entire array will be printed out like this. Okay, in your alert, you won't get the brackets or the length of the array. You'll just get the elements separated by a comma. So that's how it works. Okay. Also, as I've told you before, don't use the new array method to access the entire array. Okay, you'll get an error, so don't do that. And also, really avoid using the new array method because, as I told you before, it makes the code very complicated. It makes everything complicated, but it also produces unexpected results in certain cases. For example, let's create another array, array2, like this, and let me give a new array of 10 like this. Okay, so by definition, this you would guess that this creates an array with an element where the first element is 10, right? So that's what it should do. But if you log this array to the console, you'll see what is actually happening right now. Look at this. It created a 10 element array which is right now empty. Okay, so it didn't log this as the number element 10 at all. It just created an element, it created an array with 10 length 10, but all of the elements are right now undefined. It's empty. Okay, so as I said, don't use this method. It just messes things up. Go for directly creating your element within your square brackets like this, and then end it with a semicolon like that. Okay, so as you already know, array is of the type object, right? So if I look for type of array 1 or something like that in here, what am I going to get? You already know what you're going to get. You're going to get object, right? So we'll be looking at the difference between arrays and objects when we cover objects. But for now, let's look at what type we get for arrays, and that is object. So that's not right. Array is actually an array. Object is an object. So why are we getting the type object for an array? So to solve this problem, we have a new function in ECMAScript 5, in ES5 actually, to see if a variable is an array or not. So right now, if I give the type of, I'm just going to get an object. I won't know if it's an object or an array. So how would I check that? So you have a particular function in ES5 for this. It's called the isArray function. There's a function called isArray function, and this is how you do it. You first call the array. Okay, call the array method and array prototype in here, and then dot, and then you're gonna ask, is it an array? And inside of it, you're gonna get the variable name of the array that you want to check the type of. Okay, so you're basically asking your browser if this particular element, this particular variable, if it's an array that belongs to this or not. Okay, so I can do it here. Array with a capital A. Always remember that this has a capital A and this has a capital A, because these are predefined in JavaScript. Okay, so they have capital A's. So array with a capital A is again an array with a capital A. Inside of this, array 1, because I want to check the type of it. There you go. I'm getting it true. Now why is that? Well, it's because it is an array. Okay, now you know if it's an array or just an object. Okay. And so it returns a true if the particular variable is an array. But if it's not an array, if it's an object or something like that, then it returns a false. Okay. If I create something like this, maybe it would, if I search for obj, see, it will return a false. Even if it's a number, it's going to return a false, I think. There you go. It's going to return a false. So it only returns true for actual arrays like this. Okay. So that's one thing that I want to talk about. Instead of using the isArray object, you can also use the instance of operator. Okay. So basically, how you can use this is you can check if the object was created by the array constructor. Okay, so if it was created by this, so this is how I check this. You don't really need to know about these things. You can just use this array method if that's what you need. So I'll have to first call the name of the array, name of whatever I want to check, and then I can ask, is array1 an instance of this array with a capital A. See, this is the JavaScript array global object. It's a constructor for arrays, which are high-level list-like objects. You already know what arrays are. So the array with a capital A is the JavaScript global object, that is global constructor for arrays. I haven't explained what constructors are or those things. It's beyond the scope of this course because it's a very it's a very advanced topic. But just understand that we are checking if array1 is a part of array with a capital A, and if that's true, say it is true. If that's true, you can know that this is an actual array and not something else, especially not an object. Okay. So that's the extra parts of your arrays. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.